Hi everyone, it's Eliana and I have another card share for you today. This one is using all Lawn Fawn products. I have another piece of the silver blue paper that I made before, and I'll be sure to add a link in the description below to how I made that. And I trimmed it out using the snowy backdrops from Lawn Fawn. And I also sprayed some of that workable fixative to keep the silver from rubbing off on my finger. And I'm taking the Toboggan Together stamp set and I'm just going to stamp out my images. And I'm placing them on my MISTI so I could stamp them all at the same time. I'm going to be using Memento Tuxedo black ink because I plan to Copic color. And at first I'm trying to make sure that there's enough room between the images so that I can use the dies, but I end up fussing cutting around the images because I didn't want the white border around my images. I am stamping now, and then I'm going to double stamp just so that I can get a little bit deeper color. And also I'm going to color them and then go back and do some embossing over the images once they're colored in. I'm just using whatever Copic colors that I have, and I don't even remember what colors there are, so I'm sorry. So I'm just using a variety of browns, Christmas colors, and grays for the penguin. I use about 2 shades. I use a lighter brown and then a darker brown to create shadow. And I just put the darker brown underneath the neck, the body, and the legs that are in the background. And then I go back and blend it in with the lighter color. I'm by no means an expert with Copic coloring, and but I do like it as my favorite way to color things in. I just don't have the patience to sit and color multiple cards, so I don't color too much, but I wanted to go ahead and use these cute little critters, and so I went ahead and colored them in. Now I'm using my black onyx ink, and I'm just doing some overstamping, and then I'll go back and add my clear embossing powder. I do this last because it's a lot easier to color your images when you don't have the embossing powder. Now for the little Christmas ornaments, I did use a gold Winkostella to color in the bows, just so you know that that's not a Copic color. And when I cut out my snowy backdrop, I went back and I used the stitch rectangle die so that I could get the stitching around the background piece. And I used the stitched hillsides for my snowbanks. And I also cut those out with the stitched rectangle so that they would have the stitching around the edge too. I adhered the back piece flat, and I am adding some foam tape to the foreground just to give it some dimension. And the foam tape that I'm using, it's kind of thin, so it won't make the card too bulky. And now I'm going to be adding my little pieces just to see where I want my scene to go. And I did cut out the penguin, but I end up using just the stack of Christmas presents. So I'm using the magnets to hold my pieces down so I could figure out where I want that little string. And I'm trying to be careful as to where the string goes because I really don't want the string to be coming out of the little reindeer's tush. So I'm trying to be aware of where that little string is going, just because I don't want it to be kind of awkward. It doesn't really matter because it ends up connecting to his neck. So I'm just one of those people that just, I'm kind of aware of where things are. And so I've stamped my little string, and then I went back and stamped again just so that I could get the little bow. I wanted the bow to be on the end of the sled, and that way I know where to put my piece. And the little bow, you probably can't really see it on the video, but you could see the little loop on the little sled. And now I'm adding my little reindeer back. And once again, I'm trying to make sure that the little star die cut isn't coming out of his tush. And so I'm playing around where the placement of my little reindeer goes. I'm adding some foam adhesive to the back, and I add some liquid adhesive to his feet because his feet will be flat onto the snowbank. And I'm just adding it back onto the card front. Now I'm going to add stamp the rest of the string. I'm just covering up his head so that the string doesn't go onto his face. And since I used my MISTI, the string is lined up perfectly. Now I'm adding some double-sided adhesive to a piece of fun foam, and I've cut out the word joy from one of the Lawn Fawn die cuts. And I plan to do a little sentiment that goes across the whole front of the card. And I use a little scratch piece, and yes, I do use an acrylic block. The word giving, I didn't have enough letters to go across to complete the word, so it was just much easier to do it with the block. And since I was doing it on a separate piece of paper, it really didn't matter. And now I'm just trimming out the little word pieces just so that they're separated and I could place them on my card a little bit better. And I'm just trying to I'm trying to anchor my title so that it's just not floating up into the sky. And so by putting the word find and the word giving touching the edge, I feel like it kind of grounds the sentiment. And because I use the double-sided adhesive on the foam, it makes it really easy to adhere down. I just remove the backing, and I am putting the little words, I am just using tape runner on that. And so I'm just using my tweezers so that I don't warp the word joy, because the foam, even though it has a little backing on it, it's still, you could warp it with your fingers if you mess with it too much. It's just easier to use the tweezers. And that is all. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm adding a little bit of Wink Stella to the word joy. I didn't have any glitter white foam, so I just went ahead and added a little bit of glitter with my clear Wink Stella. And that would be all. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Bye.